Hey guys, I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Ashley.
And it's week 10 and we're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah, we are, Josh. We're back in the Cookout house, right? Just the 6 of them left.
Yep.
And guess what? It's another double elimination week.
That's right.
But they don't know it yet.
Not yet.
So it starts off, we kind of learn Kylan is upset that he's on the block and he's having a conversation with Tiffany. What did you guys think about that conversation?
I'm feeling as good as I can with Tiffany. I was frustrated earlier because it seemed like she was putting an attempt at gaining points for Alyssa's jury vote over my own feelings and relationship with her.
I think he's just being a baby. Yeah.
He was making a play to say, like, hey, Azah hasn't been up before. Why not her? Why me?
Yeah, and I can understand that, but at the same time, he's still being a baby. Like, I get it. Azah hasn't been on before, you know, because at the point, Azah and Tiffany, the only two that hadn't been on, I believe, right? They've never been on the block. So I get it. Yeah, put somebody on that's never been on, but it's like, whatever, man. You know you're not going home anyway, so don't worry about it.
Is that where we started this week?
Yeah, that's where we started.
Right.
And then Tiffany tries to move on to Xavier, and she tries to manipulate him, but he ain't buying it.
He ain't having Tiffany's junk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As strong as you are, I don't think you have to be the first person to leave in order for me to have a chance in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like how Tiffany, she strategizes, but these guys are just too good
Way
for
ahead
it.
of her.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay. Now you're just trying to butter my biscuits a little bit. All right. I guess this is a kiss-up time.
Well, you know, there was a couple things that she did wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one of them is she put her trust in the girls, and AKA, I mean, like Aja. Like, really, she was the downfall of the girl side of the Cookout here. You are only as strong as your weakest link, and Aja's pretty damn
Yeah,
weak.
she's pretty weak link.
So that's a problem right there. And then, yeah, just enjoy that cake.
Some good stuff right there, man.
Sorry to interrupt your snack time there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. No,
That's
there
it?
there
No.
was more, but I can't.
Tiffany,
There's
I
more.
tell you what, Tiffany's nonsense. Tiffany's thinking she's better than everybody else in this game. You know, her selfishness, you know, her not being a team player, all just came back to bite her in the butt in one big freaking chunk, man, and it was beautiful.
As BB Comics Week continues, our superheroes find themselves trapped in the lair of the evil supervillain, the Cluckster.
well, they have
Loved it.
the HOH, what
like it.
the Cluck HOH challenge or whatever the heck it is, where they got to get the egg up.
Cluckety-cluck, yeah.
Yep.
In this competition, we have to stick our hands through this chicken wire cage wall and carefully move the eggs through the maze into our coop. Once we get an egg in our coop, we can roll the egg down the ramp and try to knock over one of the levers. The first person to knock over all 3 levers escapes their coop and becomes the head of household. That's okay, Azah.
What do you guys think about that comp?
I thought I tell you what, I thought it was cool that Kylan was like waiting for Big D, like, hey man, I won't finish. I'm gonna see if Big D can finish this. Try to give him a shot before I finish it, but then Big D dropped that last egg. It's kind of like, all right, I gotta finish
Big
this.
D's competition to win, apparently.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been.
I know,
But Big
like
D
so
can't win anything,
close,
man.
so close. And it's like he wanted to give it to him, but he's like, nah, I want it.
Yeah.
Gotta
I'll
earn it.
take it.
Gotta earn it.
He gave Big D the chance of that last egg. Big D had, 'cause Big D only had one left, and then once that egg fell off, Kylan's like, all right, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
So Kylan wins, and who does he put up? Hannah and Tiffany.
Yeah. I mean, who saw it?
Yeah.
It's kind of the
Yeah.
boys versus the girls, kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Oh, it totally is at this point, right?
Well, I don't know whose team Oz is on these days, but
Oz's on Team Jury, I think.
Right. Yeah. right.
I mean, she's pretty much playing for the jury.
Yeah.
It's sad to me that here when I look at the people that are left, and you know, we've given props to the fact that they've gotten this far and how and why they got this far.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take why they formed their alliance out and you take that out of it, half these people would not be here.
No.
In fact, almost all of them. Like the stronger players like Kylan, Tiffany, and Xavier would have been voted out earlier on because of how strong they were. They would have been targeted and backdoored.
I mean, that's what happened to Derek X, right?
And maybe Big D. I could see Big D, people keeping him around for that, like, the easy win against.
Yeah.
But Aja, she's just such, oh my gosh, she just, oh.
Kaya's the smartest idiot I have ever seen in my life. We had a whole deal. You don't trust me? me because you shouldn't, and that's fine, but you don't supposed to know it. You're supposed to let me stay here. Now I gotta go out here and fight for my life and win the power veto and make you nominate somebody else.
Because she tries to play him, but again, he's not really going for
and
it.
I do I like that in her little diary room thing, Tiffany's diary room thing, where she says, "Look, these guys are smart. I wish they weren't. Like, they should be getting me out. Yeah, they're right, but dang it."
Yeah, when she flat out said, "You know what?" She's like, "I screwed myself. I put myself in this position." So I was glad she at least owned it. Like, yeah, you did. You know,
Well, it's kind of interesting because she came up with this grand plan, and now
that's why I think it's so sad is that the only reason why any of them are still there is because of her, because of this plan that she had. Otherwise, there were plenty of times Xavier and Kylan were targets of the other members of the house, and then through the Cookout's little secret friendships, they steered the ship the other way when it wouldn't have been steered that way had it not been.
But here's the deal now.
You know what I say though? Good riddance.
But did she? But she's not out yet. But did she make a mistake by getting rid of Claire?
Yeah,
because Claire would have fought for her, and that would have been another person to potentially win HOH and keep her around.
No, I think she made a huge mistake getting rid of Claire, but.
Would she have been this far though if they weren't doing
She would have made it another week or two. But if she had turned on the 6 before it was just the 6, she would have been targeted first, just like she was.
Maybe but I don't know because Ozza and Big D probably wouldn't have done anything. So it would have been Kylan and Xavier who were coming for her anyway.
That's true. Yeah. Well, plus big portion of America probably would have hated her if she'd have screwed the plan up at that point.
I don't know if that changes anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she was, at that point in time, she was done anyway. She needed to probably 3-4 weeks before they got to the final 6 really team up with X and
start playing it out.
And Kylan. Because those are the two. When you narrow it down to the 6, who's going to win all those competitions? Yeah. Those are the two that are going to go back and forth, and maybe you get a freak competition won by one of the other ones.
Right.
So you've got to make sure that you're in some kind of deal with them and not like some kind of yeah, we're in a deal kind of thing.
The problem is
actual create that bond and, hey, we're strong players. We're going to go to the end and do that early on. She didn't do that.
The problem is she strategizes too much and you can't really trust her.
Exactly. And she proves she can't be trusted when, that week. She's like, I'm not going to win this week. And then she did. And everybody's like, hey, what the heck's going on, Tiffany?
You can't trust her.
And she even admitted she screwed herself by doing that. She said it in the diary room and she did. So anyway, all right, so let's move forward now.
They have the BB Comics veto competition.
That's right.
And
I feel like I would do really good at this one.
Why do you say
it was kind of a cool one?
No, but I feel like every time they do this,
almost every season, which it's kind of a cool competition, but it's kind of old at this point, right? And what they do is they have to put these comics in order, and you have to find the differences between them. So,
and I was really surprised how close Big D came. He was second, I believe, in that competition. And that does not seem like a competition that would be good for him, because it's a lot of you're climbing up steps, you're hanging from a zip line, and you're gonna run down, then you're soaring, then you got to go back and you got to do this over and over again. And he had a pretty decent time.
You know what surprises me about this? Tiffany, who's in trouble, times out. 40 minutes, they're like, you're cut off.
Right,
we don't know if you're ever going to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of surprising when she needs it more than anybody.
In 10 minutes, I think, was the winner?
Yeah, Kylan, he does it in 11:44.
Okay, yeah.
Compared to 40 minutes timed out, so it would have gone longer.
Right, so Kylan wins and was already the head household, so now he's got veto power, so of course doesn't use the veto.
Yep, and it's kind of weird because Kylan does this thing every time he's in power. He talks to everyone. They tell him, they try and convince him. Then he ends up doing his own thing anyway, which is kind of like...
And then they have these side conversations, it was obvious from the beginning of the week that Tiffany was the target. But then they have these side conversations okay, well, is it beneficial to keep Tiffany?
Right, should we get rid of Chada?
And it's, of course, through the editing process, you actually even kind of tease to think that they might actually do that. But they also, so even though it's editing to really kind of lead you to believe they're going to do it and then they don't, they weren't in diary rooms just talking about this. These were actual conversations. So they really did consider keeping Tiffany.
But at the same time, they've done this so many times with the editing throughout this show. It's I've just learned to just not even pay attention to that crap.
However,
I'm whatever.
If there were actual conversations considering it, That's where Aja failed.
Yeah.
She failed the girls because she should have been in those conversations in the ear trying to keep Tiffany. Because if you don't keep Tiffany, Tiffany's like this huge target. You need to keep her. Of the two girls, you need to keep her in it. Or you need to convince Kylan to use the veto.
Ozzy and Big D are just guests in this house.
Exactly. They have no play in this house whatsoever.
They don't try. Well,
there's no way Ozzy could have convinced them to
doesn't
not.
try.
Even if she tried, there's no way she could convince them to not vote for Tiffany. Kylan and Xavier were getting Tiffany out of the house, period. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ozzy couldn't have saved her, no matter how much she tried.
So,
she didn't even try.
Oh, jeez. So we move on.
I'm sorry, Tiffany. She should have tried.
Yeah.
Kylan,
I'm not sorry, Tiffany. Bye.
Kylan and Xavier have a conversation, and Xavier reveals why he's playing the game and why it's important to him.
My brother passed on April 17th. He'd had a heart attack.
Sorry for your loss. That's huge.
We left behind a son. I made a promise to my brother that, look, as long as I'm alive, I will do what I can to make sure he is taken care of in the event that you're not.
That's cool. I mean,
And he sheds like a tear, and we don't see that very often from him. So I thought that was a pretty cool, touching moment.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think these guys have been in the house for so long, away from their families, and what they're there for, the ultimate goal. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. I think your dog's stinking up the broom here underneath the table. I think he's stinking up this room.
I forgot what I was just saying. I was so distracted.
Sorry, folks. There are little dogs underneath the
We
table.
were talking about Xavier.
Stinking us out
jogs your memory.
Xavier. No, they've been in the house for so long, and they're thinking about how close they are. Like, this is more of a reality than, you go buy your lottery ticket and it's like, oh, maybe that's going to be the one, and
it must be better odds in the Big Brother house for sure. It's 1 in 12, or how many started? 16, whatever.
Right.
16.
But like, this is close. Like, this is happening. Like, in about 7 to 10 days, I don't know what it is. There's actually going to be a winner, and I'm still in the mix here. And that's pretty emotional.
Well, here's the thing, though. This is a pretty boring season because, like, the Cookout have essentially have broken the show because their strategy is almost like foolproof. And even at this point with the Cookout, it's still not a surprise who's going home.
No.
If a guy wins, who the other person's going to be, for instance. And then if one of the girls win, you probably know who that's going to be.
The only way this would have played out differently is if the very first HOH winner of the cook season of the Cookout would have been a woman. Then the first one to go home would have been a male. Yeah. But since they won that first HOH, it doesn't matter.
No,
like, they're just gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they keep Aja for like an easy vote, in which case I boycott the show because please take Aja.
I'm kind of hoping Big D and Aja just
to
break the show.
I'm so mad at Aja.
All right, so Tiffany is gone.
Well, no, they go to a jury house video.
Yeah.
And we finally get to see that, and Sarah Beth kind of breaks down the Cookout.
I think it is Kylan, Aza, Big D, Xavier, and Chada and Tiffany are all working together.
Like a personal mission that's very important to Aza.
There's never been.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're still playing around. Sarah Beth's like, I'll tell you who's in alliance.
Right, and then Derek's like, yeah, that's what I was figuring. So, yeah, they got it figured out.
And they're all giving them kudos and props, and Sarah Beth's sitting there like, yeah.
Yeah, they're all like, oh, this is special. And Sarah Beth's like, yeah, but I get the feeling, like, deep down, she's like, this is some BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
she's not saying it, but you could just kind of see it. It looks like she's like, I don't know.
Everybody else is happy for him, but Sarah Beth seems like, okay, that's great for them.
Right.
But,
but the bottom line now is anybody who's a Big Brother fan who's going into that next season is going to be watching out for that, and they're going to be mindful of that. They should be anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
which is sad because it'll make it more racist than it has ever been, I think.
I think this is a one-off. This is never going to happen again. I mean, this was special in that. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, you got to look at this episode, right? You had 6 African Americans, you had a Hispanic girl, and you had an Asian dude. So you only had 4 white people, right? So, I mean, the white people were the minority in this
16
one.
people.
Yeah.
Or 6 white people. So, I mean, the white people were already the minority in this one to begin with, and they were already outmatched. In
it's just brilliant that they had their person, you know, where they convinced them, and they got completely blindsided. So I give it to the Cookout at the other end, though, these guys are pretty clueless.
Well, regardless of what brings a group of 6 together, like this happened to be because of their race, but whatever brings that group of 6 together, this has been tried for this 22 seasons past of large groups at the beginning, and they always turn on each other. So this proves that if they stick together, they can make it.
Right. Well, it's hard for complete strangers to stick together.
Yeah, because exactly. And this just the point of getting them to the final 6 was more important to them than their own game and their relationships with everybody else in the house.
But here's the deal. It's almost like
there's not
6
that.
versus 1-on-1. So it gives them a huge advantage. I would love to see these guys come back and play an individual game.
I would too.
That would be cool, yeah.
Because I think some of them deserve the chance to do that.
Because, for instance, we could show how broken it is because Derek and Ozza are still there and they haven't done anything.
Oh, yeah.
So that just
they
shows.
do not belong in that house whatsoever.
And usually at this point, there is at least one person. There's usually at least one person that's like, why are they still here? Because they're kept as the person, like the easy win against.
Right.
But to have 2 of them this far, that would never have happened. No.
Well, so, all right, so...
Tippy Toes is eliminated.
Yeah, and while they're in the jury house, we also get to see Alyssa and Claire come in, right? So they're like, "Yep, we're the last ones out," and everybody's like, "Yeah, we knew it. It's the black folks. They're all together."
They're like waiting to break it down to the new people. Like, have you figured it out yet?
They're like, "Yeah, we got it."
Yeah.
Who do we think's coming in this house?
Claire or Alyssa, probably Claire. So we should save some of this alcohol for her because she's gonna need it.
So it will be interesting to see the jury's reaction when Tiffany
that's gonna be great.
gets there.
That's gonna be great.
And then it'll be interesting to see if Tiffany gloats about how it all started and how they got there.
That was her plan.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll say it's brilliant and
right.
Of course,
like congratulations, whatever. But
either way, it ain't gonna be her getting the money.
No. Is it just kind of like is weird that she came up with it and she's the first one out of that group?
Yeah,
so.
I'm not gonna send it to you.
Well, the next thing they do is the HOH bowling competition.
Yeah. So this was this is after Tiffany was gone or eliminated. That's when Julie announced that, hey, by the way,
and the audio
we're doing another
really messed up for you.
Yeah, Julie's audio.
The whole show, a 2-hour show, and the audio was.
It was all Julie's audio.
Yeah.
It was completely messed up. Bad.
I can't believe they didn't even fix that mid-show.
Yeah, no kidding. It was bad.
And she seemed like she was talking more than normal. Maybe it's just because the audio was bad and I noticed it more.
Yeah.
But
no, it was horrible, man. No doubt.
So she very quietly announced that they were going to be doing another double eviction. So they had to go do an HOH, and it was the bowling. So there was 2 rounds. Now, why they made this 2 rounds, I don't know.
It's weird.
Especially on a live show, you try to make these
I think they tried to win it mano-y-mano or something like that.
So
and
the
build
first
more
round, you had 10 balls, and you were supposed to knock balls off the end. And then the top 2 winners from that would proceed to the second round, and then that was rolling the balls down and who could get them to
which
stay
it was
on the grass
Xavier, no surprise, and the other person, Ozza.
Yeah, so we were just calling her a loser, and then here we go. She's actually
and then they face off, and what happened?
Ozza wins.
Ozza.
Her first event, period.
Which surprised you because it's almost like shuffleboard, right? But Xavier's like bowling this thing completely off and not really adjusting his strength too much.
He's not learning from it.
I was like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
It looks like you could barely roll it and it would make it to the grass.
But can we talk about Ozza being HOH for a second?
Oh, she screwed it up.
Yeah,
my God.
It might as well have been a Kyland or Xavier or something like that.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And what's funny is that, we got the extra episode this week, so I'm going to kind of combine this. But at first, in that double eviction episode, you see that quick, rapid talk where she tells Hannah, I'm going to put you up next to Xavier. And X is my target. And then Hannah's face is like, what?
I love seeing Hannah's face.
She's like, wait. How are you going to get people to vote for X?
Because this is like the same thing that happened with Hannah doing this to Alyssa. And now it's going around.
Right, and she's like, no. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, just let me play this out for you real quick. Okay, so if Kylan wins the veto, then Kylan's not going to use it. Or if X uses the veto, he's going to come down, and then Big D will go up, and then I'll go home. And then I'll go home. And then I'll go home. No. It's going to be down.
The tiebreaker.
I'm going to get Big D to vote for you. Don't worry about it. We're good.
Big D's not with them. He's with me. It's okay. I got it. I'll be there. Go on. It's fine.
And she's like, okay.
Yeah, and then you see, you can just see, oh my gosh, I felt bad for Hannah. Because then, and then it's X and Kylan constantly just, okay, come talk real quick. Talk real quick. So they go break off and talk real quick. And
it was always bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. There's like a couple women, man.
Yeah.
Well, I would say Big D was really cool, and Hannah was running around like a chicken with her head cut off.
Exactly. She's like, so every time they win, she's like, oh, you're going to vote for me, right?
Please.
He's begging, man. She's on hands and knees begging these dudes.
So he uses the veto. Kylan uses the veto on X, which...
Big D's like, what the heck?
Yeah, they play the What the Bleep veto competition.
Right.
And this one, it seems like it's anyone's game, right?
And that was
it's
pretty
one
funny,
of those...
man. Like, I got some good chuckles out of that, man. That was good.
Yeah, the bleeps were very well
right.
done.
So yeah, I guess I jumped for that one. But Kylan won that veto, and then there's all these other secret conversations going on about like, is he going to use the veto? Is he not going to use the veto? And here, Asha is thinking she's playing the game with the rest of the house, like she's the head of household, and everybody's going to respect what I'm doing, and blah blah blah. And then he uses the veto on X. It forces her to put up Big D is the only other option.
Like Aza, I have been wanting to honor the deals and promises I make. I've been very specific as to what those are. At this time, being HOH, knowing I couldn't play, I had to make different deals and promises, and right now I do have one to take Xavier off, so I'm going to use it on you as I promised. Hopefully that means something.
Which is kind of surprising. It's not that surprising because he's made it known that he wants X, but like still, it's just kind of like, this ain't smart.
Right, but his reasoning, at least he played it out like, hey, I promised X if I won this week that I wouldn't put him up. So, so at least he kind of had that as his reasoning where people can't really argue with that. Like, oh, well, if he promised them, okay, whatever, But at the same time, it's like, yeah, why do that?
So that pissed off Aja, and it pissed off Big D.
Yeah.
But why did Aza put these two people up?
Why didn't you put two guys up? Exactly. Because she was playing the guy's game.
She sucks at the game.
She was
like, what is she doing? Like, how does this help her game in any sense?
She's like every other member of the house that wasn't part of the cookout. She doesn't see it. She thinks she's part of the team with the guys.
That's ridiculous.
She's in love with X.
Well, yeah, that probably blinds her a little bit.
Yeah, Big D is her buddy, and Big D, and I think he did say it. Did he not say it? No, someone said it. Crap. I have your back as long as I could. That was with Hannah, I think.
No, that was, I think, Kylan.
No.
Kylan or X said that.
That was X saying it to Alyssa.
Yeah.
To Alyssa, yeah. That's right. But Big D's the same way about Aja. Like, I mean, yeah, it's his like little sister kind of thing, and he's got her back as well. But it's time now.
What I thought was funny is Big D's like sulking, and he's like, I deserve a seat at the final two. And you're like, what?
With Kyla and Xavier pulling the stunts that they did, I don't know what that means for my future in this game. I don't care who's sitting next to me, but I deserve a seat at those final two chairs.
What are you talking about?
He's like, I've played a good game here, and I've helped people when I've talked to people. And like, you did good losing. You're really good.
And he says he doesn't make any
move.
A couple
times, okay?
Yeah, and he's kind of pissed that the veto thing, the way that went down. And he's like, I don't make a move without consulting with you guys. Right. Like, what move are you making?
Right. You're not making any moves.
Yeah.
That was just funny.
Yeah, I was telling him before that last episode, after the double episode, because we don't have the Sunday night episode this week. I had the Friday night. And I said, wait till you see that one. Everybody's mad. Like, everyone's mad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Like, everybody in the house is sulking now. Like, they're all just kind of sulking.
Like, no one's happy except for X, I think. Yeah.
Well, the funny is, and then they were giving Big D crap. They're like, Kylan and X are talking about, like, planning a Big Brother trip to Vegas and all this. And,
that was hilarious.
They're naming every other dude in the house except Big D. And Big D's sitting there on the couch like, what the heck's going on, man?
Why would you not take me?
I would make that vacation, And then, of course, in the diary room, like, X is laughing. He's like, dude, this is so great. He's like, of course we take Big D, because it's funny just seeing his reaction.
Kai, are you serious right now? Have y'all lost your mind? Last time I checked, I know I'm the best wingman you can get. Me not on a trip with them will be boring. They need me there, and they know that.
So, yeah, it was pretty good at messing with them.
Yeah.
So the next event is the BB Crime Lab HOH competition.
I liked
that was cool. I liked it.
I feel like I would do good at this one.
Here's how it goes. Grab your black light and begin to look for the clues in the crime scene for 5 pieces of the glowing evidence. Once you find a clue, remember what you saw and head back to the lab to try to match the clue with the evidence on the wall.
But I really like Kylan's strategy because he was turning the ones he didn't think were right around,
that
where everyone else is just
time,
constantly looking back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
When you said that, I thought, okay, well, that's probably is a good strategy because then it's out of the. But you know what? I probably would have just like tossed it.
No,
I wonder if they were allowed to do that.
I'll tell you why. Like what I thought. Why is anybody doing this? Grab the one you think it is and run over to the wall and look at it.
Do that.
You might not, but
I doubt you could do that.
That'd have been the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
anyway, but X smoked it. Holy cow, man! That dude freaking beat everybody by like 5 minutes.
I mean, he is a lawyer. He's looked at evidence before.
Damn, you was zooming.
But he struggled at the comic book one compared to like Kylan.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd get a repeat, but not so much.
Yeah, I was surprised that Kylan didn't win that one, but Kylan was not happy. Kylan was like, this is of all the competitions of the season that he needed to win.
Dummy.
So he was a little disappointed that he didn't win.
I definitely could have, should have, and probably really needed to do better at than I did.
A little. He was a lot disappointed
he
he
was
didn't
very
win.
disappointed.
However, this is that one episode in every season that really, obviously the HOH winning person, the person who wins HOH is safe.
They're in the final three.
So that's good. But really what matters is the veto, because the veto holder decides who's sitting on the block, and whoever's off the block is the person who's voting. There's only one vote.
Right.
So if somebody who's put on the block wins the veto, they take themselves off. Not only are they now safe, they're the one deciding who goes home.
Right.
So
the veto
is super important.
And one funny thing, I guess at the same time, that really sucks for that person making the decision, right? Because they've totally got blood on their hands. So they're sending somebody home, and that person's probably not gonna be too happy with them in the jury room, right? So yeah, that's a hard spot to be in, I guess.
Yeah. So
Xavier nominates Azza and Kylan. And that's where we kind of leave off.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about his nominations?
I don't. It is smart. I don't know if Kylan can see that X doesn't really intend to take him.
No, Kylan didn't see it.
Because Kylan,
I think Kylan will be Xavier if it's them two in the final.
I do too, and I think Kylan will take Xavier,
right. Well,
but I know Xavier won't take Kylan.
What's funny, as much as people in that house are like, "Oh, Xavier is a comp beast. He just throws comps in this." Kylan is a comp beast, man. That dude won.
I think he was winning his butt off, man.
Yeah, he just won. He won 2 vetoes and head a household just in like 3 in a row, and it was like.
Well, I can tell you how the rest of the season plays out. The next, I'll tell you. There's two scenarios it goes.
Mm-hmm.
If Kylan wins this veto, then Kylan has a chance.
Right.
If Kylan does not win this veto, X wins. Period. The end. There's no other option. X will win. Because if Kylan does not win this veto, Kylan's going home. Then it's X, Big D, and Aja. Come on. Come on. Come on now. It doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't matter that.
So it's purely up to Kylan's gameplay, competition play at this point, not even his social play.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a big cake.
The dog's looking for something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Won't help his gas.
No, it was bad.
So how's it going to be with the final 3, though? How are they going to determine who wins there?
So with the final, when it comes down,
he's never seen it,
right? Okay, so when it comes down to the final 3, it's a 2-part HOH or 3-part HOH. So there's the first competition where they all 3 compete, and that's usually an endurance one.
Yeah, that's Big D's already.
Right. Exactly. So, the person who wins that one automatically advances to round 3.
Jeez.
So then the other 2 compete. Those are our dogs, guys. There's a dog outside. They get excited. Hey. Then you've got the other 2. They compete in a second round. Whoever wins that one moves on to round 3 as well.
Gotcha.
So then those 2 compete, and on that, whoever wins that decides of the other 2 who they take with them to the end.
All right.
So that's how that happens. And that usually, so the second to last episode, you'll see them start that endurance one. And then the last episode, all that kind of plays out on the live finale.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
And there you have it.
There it is.
And this is
all right, man. I'm still.
This is Gizmo, guys.
Yeah, Gizzy.
All right. So
I'm still going X, man. Still going X.
Kylan hasn't convinced you yet, huh?
Nah. Well, you know what, man?
I like Kylan.
Kylan is the comp beast in the house. He's better than X, I think. In winning comps.
It's close between those 2.
Yeah,
I don't think it's anyone's game, really.
Honestly, I'm happy with either one of them.
And I hope Kylan does win this.
Wanted Tiffany.
I did want Tiffany, but if it's not Tiffany, which is not going to be Tiffany, then I'm happy with either one of them. Just as long as it's not Big D or Aja. Come on.
I hope Kylan wins this because that'll mean it's probably between him, X, and who cares who the third person is.
Exactly.
And I'd like to see that.
I would like to see
I would love
him.
to see it come down to him and X. That would be cool. That's the best case scenario, I think.
What would be really good for the game is if that happened.
It's pretty lame if it's just X next to Aza or
Big D, yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think Kylan and X that's going to be a good jury discussion too.
And we've seen some games where people hold a grudge and like the person you expect to win, like if it was Xavier and Aza, some weird things happen sometimes, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think that's going to happen this time because normally that happens when people step on other people's toes and they don't have good jury management, which I don't think is going to be that big of an issue. But a lot of people might like Aza.
The other thing with the jury now is the non-Cookout members. It's hard for them to hold a grudge for anything, I think, because when you ask, no matter who's up there, both people who end up there, their reasoning for getting rid of everybody else in the house is the same. Yeah. So.
Well, and the bottom line is you got to pick one of them, right? Somebody's got to win. So you were bamboozled by both of them, but you got to choose one of them. So whichever one you thought did best, I guess.
It might come down to who the Cookout wants to win.
Yeah, possibly.
Who knows?
But I guess we'll find that out soon enough. All right, everybody. Hey, another great discussion here. We appreciate you watching. If you like our channel, hit like and subscribe, and we will check you guys in the next review. It was like he was killing
it. You can't eat that on camera.
What the hell is that?
What are we doing there?
You trying to eat some cake on camera? Let them eat cake. What kind of cake is that?
Oh, you gonna turn this on?
But dude, hey man, y'all want to go do Axtron? Y'all want to go do Axtron sometime? Y'all should come check it out.
Yeah, we should do it sometime.
Dude, it was fun. It's fun, man.
We should do that sometime.
We should do that sometime.
Good crap.
Are you even recording? Oh my God, you've been recording this whole time?
You gotta be good too at it, man. Then we'll join a league. Yeah, we'll join a league.
Is that recording? That doesn't look like it's recording.
No, it's not.
It is. It does. It says record.
Oh,
it is. It does. It says.
I haven't got my glasses on.
It is. It does. It says. You got some frostbite on that cake.
Frostbite.
I can see like the. Frost.
Quit eyeing my food.
Eyeballing his food. So it's a new Mexican place or a new Mexican place?
Huh? Are we ready? Hey guys, I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Ashley.
And it's week 10 and we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
I didn't like that. Can we do that again?
Yeah, let's do that again.
What part? What part?
Because we weren't ready for it, man. I wasn't ready for it.
I said, I'm Ashley.
And I was like, and I'm Billy.
Are we ready?
Another episode of Big Brother.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what was the thing you wanted us to say at the end? All right, good night. See ya. Goodbye.
Goodbye. So long.
See you later.
You're saying adieu.
You're saying goodbye. You're saying so long. I'm saying see you later.
Goodbye, so long, see you later.
Look, he's a gizmo at the door.
Both of them
Ignore him.
Both of them are.
Ignore his cuteness.
So,
goodbye.
So long.
Peace out.
He was supposed to say goodbye.
I know, he f***ed up.
Oh, man.